Hello and welcome to PCGS unboxing video. These are just crackouts from my most recent submission. I got it back earlier this week. If you like the video, please consider liking it and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps grow and let other people see it. And if you want to comment any of your grade guesses down below in the comments, I always like to see what other people think. So the first coin here, is not just a simple crackout. There's a little bit of a story here. So it was originally, as you can see by this label, in an old NGC holder. And the reason I cracked it out, and maybe you can tell from kind of the look here, is to me it didn't totally look like a proof. It was graded proof 63. And if you look right here in the corner, there's a die crack right above my finger. And so that die crack's seen on circulation strikes. And the price difference between a proof 63 and an MS 63 is, I think, about a factor of 10. I think it's roughly 300 to roughly 3,000. So I figured I'll crack that out and I'll send it to PCGS, and maybe it will be a circulation strike. So I did that, I got it back, it came back as a proof. And I was a little bit disappointed, but I was like, to make a couple $1,000s, worth another shot. So I sent it to ANACS, and something I appreciate, while it was also, they also considered it a proof, was they actually wrote a note, because I explained why I thought it was a circulation strike. I said, hey, it has this die crack. It doesn't totally look like a proof. I mean, the die crack shows that the same dies were used, so I feel like it's a little bit fuzzy between what is a proof and what isn't a proof. Anyway, so I really appreciated them leaving a note and helping to kind of educate me on why this was still a proof. And so they even put a reference, which I really appreciate. So and I couldn't find the PCGS label for the regrade, but so I sent it to ANACS. But the disappointing thing about the ANACS was it came back proof 58. And so what I did was I cracked it back out, and I sent it back to PCGS. And I haven't said what PCGS graded it on the original crackout, because it ended up being the same. They did upgrade it, so 1 point at least for old holders. A pretty nice looking coin, though a proof, which was slightly disappointing in this specific circumstance. But a good learning opportunity, and I think I spent, obviously well a bit over 100 on grading fees, but at least the 1 point I think will cover some of that. And you can't win them all. You gotta take some shots and you'll miss sometimes. All right, next we had a coin that was in a PCI holder, graded MS65. I thought that it looked pretty good for an MS65, and it was being, I thought it looked pretty appropriate for the grade. And it was at a discount because it was in a PCI holder, so the goal here was just to kind of keep the grade and get the same grade and make I think make about $50–75 after fees, and luckily enough we managed to keep the grade. It stayed MS65, so that was the goal. Happy to see it. Next up, we've got a Morgan. This was a MS64 Morgan. There's a dealer. I was going through all their Morgans, and they let me pick. There were a couple, actually. There were 2 MS64 Morgans, but we'll stick with this one. And I was looking at this Morgan, and I was like, this Morgan to me, this isn't bad resolution. This thing looks flawless. It's got a lot of nothing really on the cheek, very clean fields. So I was looking at this and I was like, this looks like a 66 to me. I'll pay, I forget, it was $80 or something along there, $75. These aren't too expensive at the moment, and I figured we'll cross it over, and worst case I get MS65, I still come out ahead. maybe I get a 66, and that would just be a cool story, great video. Get your guess in. So we got cleaned UNC details, which isn't really what you want in this kind of situation. So I'm not really sure what to do with it. I'm thinking of, I think maybe there, when you hold it at an angle like this, you see there's some kind of residue. So I don't know if it needs to be restored. I don't know if I just send it as is to ANACS, if that, maybe it comes back 65 or 66 with ANACS, and I end up breaking even or something, or maybe I send it back to NGC. I'm working on an NGC sub at the minute, but this one kind of surprised me. I didn't really see cleaned coming, and really lovely coin. Okay, so this, of the two that I submitted, I bought these at the same time. They're both MS64 NGCs. This one I was actually more concerned about details with. You can see in my opinion, it's got a, it's a very nice looking coin, but it's got a little scuff there and a little bit in the field. It doesn't quite look like that other coin to me looked like a 66. This one did not look as strong. What worried me most about it was right here. You can see this line. I thought maybe they would call that UNC detail scratched or something along there, but I was like, content, right? So anyway, so we had 64, get your guess in. I'm not gonna drag this out. Got an MS65, so great. That's, goes from an 80 coin to a $160 coin. So, after grading fees, you make about 40 bucks. Anyway, so that's all I've got for today. There weren't too many crackouts in that submission. There should be another open box video with some of the other coins in the submission, next week. And if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.